students. Welcome to the class of Data Warehouse. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about the data warehouse schema. We have discussed why we require data warehouse schema, and we have also discussed that we have in data warehouse we have star schema, snowflake schema, and galaxy schema or fact constellation schema. Now, previous day we have discussed about star schema, which is the more basic schema of data warehouse. Whenever we are discussing about the star schema, in the type of discussion also we have discussed about fact and dimension table. Those fact and dimension tables are very important in case of data warehouse schema because the schema are basically built on using those fact and dimension schema. We have also discussed various aspects of fact and dimension tables. Now today we are going to discuss about firstly snowflake schema and then the fact constellation schema or galaxy schema. So just a quick go through of today's topic. So these are the topics those we are going to discuss today. So firstly, we are going to discuss about snowflake schema. In the time of discussion of snowflake schema, we are also going to say about the schema definition, difference between how a star schema can be converted into a snowflake schema, what are the advantages and disadvantages of snowflake schema, and we are also going to compare star schema with snowflake schema. I have already told that the star schema is the most basic form of schema in case of data warehouse. So obviously, a conversion from star schema to snowflake schema can be possible. Now after that, we are going to discuss about fact constellation schema and its definition obviously. And then at last we are going to discuss about a very important issue regarding dimensions, that is slowly changing dimensions. So these are the topics for today. So let us start with snowflake schema. So this is basically the snowflake schema. Firstly, just we go through some characteristics about snowflake schema. So a schema is known as a snowflake if one or more dimension tables do not connect directly to the fact table but must join through other dimension tables. Whenever discussion of the star schema, I have repeatedly mentioned that in case of star schema, every dimensions are directly connected with the fact table. So every dimensions table of the star schema is directly connected with the fact table. But in this case, it is possible that some dimensions are not directly connected to the fact table. They are connected with other dimensions. Those are connected to the fact table. That means all dimensions are connected to the fact table, but indirect connection is also can be possible. It may be a direct connection, it may be an indirect connection. Direct means when the dimension table is directly associated with the star schema, with the fact table. That is always true for star schema. In snowflake schema, also some dimensions are connected with the fact table directly. But it may be possible that some dimensions are connected with other dimension also. Okay, so basically it is an expansion of the star schema where each point of the star explodes into more points. Each points means what? The dimensions. We have already told in the star schema, the center point is the fact table and each point of the star are the different dimension. So in the snowflake schema, the each points are going to explore more. So it is called snowflake schema. Why? Because the diagram of snowflake schema resemble with snowflake. Snowflake is what? Snowflaking is a method of normalizing the dimension tables in a star schema. So basically, the main difference comes where the normalization. In the star schema, no normalization is allowed. No, is allowed. Basically, all the dimensions are denormalized. But in snowflake schema, we are going to explore those dimensions more and more. That means the normalization is done, and after the normalizations, the tables are going to break. So where the table is going to break, then obviously the table which is left out from the previous one, that is going to connect it with that. And for this reason, all the tables are not directly connected with the fact. The tables which is normalized from a particular dimension table, that is going to be connected with that table only. So it is used to develop the performance of specific queries. The schema is diagrammed with each fact surrounded by its associated dimensions, and those dimensions are related to other dimensions branching out into a snowflake pattern. So this is basically you can see in this figure, this can be a figure of snowflake schema. Here you can see the time dimension table, the item dimension table, location and branch dimension table are directly connected with the sales fact table. But supplier dimension table, this is connected with the item dimension table again with the foreign key relationship. You can see there is supplier key is the foreign key here, and supplier key is the primary key here. Okay. Now in here also from the location dimension table, another table is connected, that is city dimension table. The city dimension table is connected with the city key with location dimension table. So for this two table which are connected not directly with the fact table, these two table are connected with other dimension table, and those dimension table is connected with the fact table. So for this case, this is not a star schema, this is a snowflake schema. So this is the definition how we can define a snowflake schema. We can define it like this. Here firstly the fact table is going to be created. So define cube cells, snowflake where we have time key, time, item, branch and location, and then we have some facts, dollar sold, okay, and then that is going to be calculated like this, some sells in dollars, and unit sold, that is count stuff, okay, from this unit table. So these are the fact is going to become. Now which type of fact table this is? This is not total, all the facts are, all the dimension tables are contributing in the measurement of the fact. Okay, you can see. So this is only semi. Okay, so semi, that means why? Because this dollar sold and unit sold, there is a fact. There is some facts are there, but this is not coming from all the table. The dollar solds are coming from some tables, and unit solds is coming from some tables. So unit solds can be coming from the item table basically, or the yes, item table. This is basically the count star of the item. So this is basically the from this table they are going. So so this is the how the data is collected. Now whenever we are going to define the dimension table, so this is the definition of item dimension table. Here you can see the code is like that. Define dimension item as item key, item name, brand, type, supplier. Now supplier is not again of this item table basically. This is basically another table, another dimension table which is connected with this table. So in supplier, again we have supplier key and supplier type. So it is going to define like this. Now in branch, there is no question of this. So it is directly defined like this in time also. But here again in the location dimension, city is going to be again represented by another table. So you can see these are the grains of city table. Okay, and these are the grains of the location table. Okay, so this is in this way the snowflake schema can be defined by SQL. Okay, now you can see here a star schema is going to convert it into a snowflake schema. So this is basically the star schema. You can see in the star schema, in this particular star schema, we have product, customer, time, and sales representative. So these are the dimensions we have, and this is a sales fact. That is the fact table. Now, the fact table is as it is there. There is no change in the fact table. The only thing is what you can see, the product table. The product table is directly connected with the sales fact table, but the product table is going to be denormalized into brand and package. Okay, so in the previously there is only a brand name is there, but here brand is a different dimension that is going to be connected with the product dimension. And package is also, in the previous case, we have package category and package time in the same product dimension. But here, a different dimension is created for package also. So package key and package type, these are a different dimension. Now, category is another dimension which is connected with the brand dimension. So you can see the chain. Category is connected with brand is connected with product, and product is connected with sales. So that can be defined like previous way we have defined. Okay, so this is like this. Now coming to the customer table, there is another dimension created, country, which is connected with the customer dimension. And coming to the sales representative table, here also territory is a dimension created which is connected with the sales representative dimension, and region is another dimension created which is connected with the territory. Okay, so in this way the dimensions which are previously we have in the star schema, those are explored more. So these tables are basically normalized, and it is going to be explored with the normalization. And then we can see that separate dimensions are created for some issues whenever the requirement arises. Now for time dimension, it is as it is, no separate dimensions is created. So in this way, if we explore more the dimensions of the dimension table, then we have more dimensions, and those dimensions are not directly connected with the fact table. Those are connected with the other dimension. So in this way, the snowflake schema is actually built. Okay, from the star schema to snowflake schema. So star schema is the more basic form. If we explore more the star schema, if we explore more the dimensions of the star schema, because you can see in the fact table there is no change. It is as it is. Only the dimensions are explored more. So if we explore more the dimension, then we have more the tables. So in this way, more tables can be created. Okay, so that is basically the dimensions, and these are the dimensions of the snowflake scheme. Okay, so what are the advantages? So the primary advantage of the snowflake schema is the development in query performance due to minimized disk storage requirement and joining smaller lookup tables. So this is very important. Developing the query performance. The query performance is development in query performance due to minimized disk Why? Because in the previous case we have a large schema. Now those schema is developed, is minimized, basically smaller lookup tables are there. So suppose for this, in this case, suppose we want to search for the category. So in the previous case, we need to search in the product table. In the product table, we have category, but it is a very large database. It is a very large storage. If we compare this with the category dimension, in the category dimension only we have 2 crane only. But here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 crane. So obviously the query performance will be better if we search in the category dimension. Okay. So it provides greater scalability in the interrelationship between dimension levels and components, because for each component we can create a dimension. Okay. So obviously if it will begin, if we want to add something, only we can add a dimension, and it is not necessary that dimension is going to added with the fact table. It can be added with different dimensions also. So obviously it is more better. Okay. Now, no redundancy, so it is easier to maintain. So in this case, there is really no redundancy. Now, what are the disadvantages? The primary disadvantage of the Snowflake schema is the additional maintenance efforts required due to the increasing number of lookup tables. It is also known as a multi-fact star schema. Because with the number of tables are increased, obviously the maintenance over it is also going to be increased. So there are more complex queries because we need to apply join here, because tables are breaking up. Normalization is done. So all data are not going to be present in the same dimension. So we need to apply join more. If we compare with the star schema, in the previous case we need to apply join less, so the query become more complex. Okay, in case of Snowflake schema, so more tables, more joins, so more query execution time. So whenever we have more joins, so obviously more query execution time is required if you think in this context. So now we are going to compare a star schema with a Snowflake schema. Okay. So the first thing, the first basis of comparison is what? Ease of maintenance or change. So if you're talking about the star schema, it has redundant data and hence less easy to maintain and change. Because the tables, all the informations are in the same table. So obviously the redundant data can be there. So obviously whenever a change is happened, we need to go to all the fields because the normalization is not possible. So the advantage of normalization is cannot be applied here. If you think about those reason of normalization, those updation anomaly, deletion anomaly, insertion anomaly, those are all applied with the star schema. So whenever any updation is done, obviously we need to go to all the table, all the fields and update. Okay, because the informations are redundant, so it can be present in multiple fields. So we need to update all those fields. But in case of Snowflake schema, normalization is there. So updation anomaly should not be there. So no redundancy and therefore more easy to maintain and change. Now ease to use. This is another aspects of comparison. Because star schema is less complex queries are there, so obviously it is very much simple to understand. The topology is also very much simple. But when we are talking about Snowflake schema, it is more complex if queries are there if we compare with the star schema. And obviously it is less easy to understand. Now parent table. So in a star schema, a dimension table will not have any parent table. But in a Snowflake schema, dimension table can have parent table because a dimension table is connected with another dimension table. So there is a parent-child relationship between those. Because all tables are connected through the differential constraint, through the foreign key. So there may be a parent, there may be more parent tables, okay, one or more parent tables, okay. You can see if you go to these examples for category, here you can see the brand and then product. So one or more parents can be there, okay. Query performance. So less number of foreign keys and hence lesser query execution time. Only the fact table is going to connect it with the dimension table with the foreign. But in case of Snowflake schema, more foreign keys are there because more dimensions are connected with each other with the help of foreign keys. So obviously the query execution time is also going to be increased. Now normalization. Star schema is purely denormalized. But in Snowflake schema, we can have normalized tables. We must have normalized tables, then only a star schema is going to convert it into Snowflake schema. Now the type of data warehouse. Star schema is good for data marts with simple relationships, one-to-one or one-to-many. But when we are talking about data warehouse, that is a large thing. So it is Snowflake schema is more acceptable. So good to use for data warehouse, code to simplify complex relationships. Mostly many-to-many relationships are there. So when we talk about joins, in star schema, fewer joins are required, but in Snowflake schema, we can have high number of joins because the tables are normalized. Dimension table in star schema, it contains only a single dimension table for each dimension. But when we are talking about the Snowflake schema, it may have more than one dimension table for each dimension. Now the hierarchies. Hierarchies for the dimension are stored in the dimension table itself in a star schema. But hierarchies are broken into separate tables in a Snowflake schema. These hierarchies help to drill down the information from topmost hierarchies to the lowermost hierarchies. There are levels. Okay. So when to use? When the dimensional tables contain less number of rows, then we are going to use the star schema. But when the dimension table store a huge number of rows with redundant information and space is such an issue, then we can choose Snowflake schema. Okay. Now the data warehouse system aspect work best in any data warehouse or data mart. But Snowflake schema is better for small data warehouse or okay. So this is basically the comparison of star schema and Snowflake schema. Now we are going to discuss about another schema, that is fact constellation schema. So what is it? A fact constellation means two or more fact tables sharing one or more dimension. In the previous cases, in star schema and Snowflake schema, we have only one fact table. There is only one center point. But suppose we require more fact to calculate or measure. Then what happened? Then we required galaxy schema or fact constellation schema. Okay. So maybe our dimension table product can be connected with more than one fact table. Here you can see there is two fact table, business result and business forecast. And in both of the cases, the dimension table product is connected. So this is basically a representation of galaxy schema. Here you can see there is a sales fact table and there is a shipping fact table. Okay. And yes, these are the two facts table, and you can see in the sales fact table the time dimension, the branch dimension, the location dimension, the item dimensions, all are connected. And in the shipping fact table also, the item, the time, the item, time, and the shipper dimensions tables are connected. So basically the most thing is what? The most important thing is what? The fact constellation schema. We can have more than one fact, and one dimension table can attach with more than one fact table. Okay. So this is basically how we can define a fact constellation scheme. So this is how we can define. This is basically for sales fact table. So you can see these are the things we have in sales fact table: time, item, branch, and location. So these are the keys we have. So time, item, branch, and location. And the fact are sold, dollar sold, and unit sold. So that can be declared like this. Now for the time dimension, so these are for defining time, item, branch, and location dimension. And now this is for the shipping fact table. So this is for the shipping fact table. And then we need again new. So now here, because we have already defined the time dimension here, so here we can write like this: define time dimension time as time in cube cells. We need no need to again define it as totally. So item dimension also we can reuse like that, but the dimension shipper was not present in the previous case, so it can be defined like this. The dimension location again you reuse from the cells fact table, so it can be like this, and location dimension also can be reused like this. So if a dimension is already used by another fact table, so whenever it is created, the relationship is created, then we don't again need to recreate all these dimensions. We can reuse like this using those comments. So now we are going to discuss about another aspect. So up to now we have discussed about star schema, snowflake schema, and fact constellation schema. In star schema, we have only a single fact table, and all the dimensions are directly connected with the fact, with that particular fact table, and normalization is not allowed. In snowflake schema, again we have a single fact table. Dimensions are connected with the fact tables, but it may be possible some dimensions are connected with other dimensions. They are not directly connected with the fact table because of normalization. Now in the fact constellation schema or galaxy schema, we can have multiple facts in the same database, data warehouse schema. And one dimension table can be connected with multiple facts table. Okay. So now we are coming in a discussing a different aspect, that is slowly changing dimensions. So in dimensional modeling, it is very important to determine how the change of data in the source system reflects in dimension tables in the data warehouse system. So this phenomenon is known as slowly changing dimensions. So this term comes from the reason that dimensions accumulate their changes at the slow rate in comparison with the fact table. Okay, so for this reason, the slowly changing dimension, this term comes. So there are most three common slowly change dimensions type. So the type 1, type 2, and the type 3. So let us examine. In the type 1, when data in the source system change, the corresponding dimension attribute is overwritten. So this is the previous cases where data is like this, Nikon will exist. And now there is an this product name has changed. It is updated because this is wrong information. So the data is going to be overwritten. Now it is the new one. So the dimension tables does not represent the history. So previously what was in the dimension table, that was not going to record it because that was not going to maintain, because the data is overwritten. Okay. So this is basically an historical context of existing fact is changed. Should be avoided as much as possible, because in data warehouse, history is a very much important thing. But in this case, the history is not maintained. Should be used only in case there is a need for correcting data. So if the data is wrong in the source system, then only we are going to update that data, and in that case the history need not to be maintained because the data was wrong. So the type 1 can be maintained in that case. Now come to type 2. So when data in the source system changed, A new version of the corresponding dimension row is created to preserve a version history and historical context of the fact. Here you can see this was the previous one where the product category was camera. Now this is the new data. So the previous one is already there and the new one is added. So we can preserve unlimited version history with slowly changing dimension type 2. Okay. So it can be unlimited version can be there. If any updation is done on this, then again the new updation is added without deleting the previous one. So unlimited history can be there. So this is the safest way to choose, because when data in the source system change, the dimension can use either type 1 or type 2. Okay. But the thing is what, it will require more storage because we are not going to delete anything. Unlimited histories are going to be added. And you can see histories are required, but these data are redundant. Okay, only these data have changed. So the total rows are going to be maintained. So that is not required. So sometimes you will have requirement that allow business analysts to analyze facts recorded before and after the change occurred using the old value and new value. None of both types above is suitable to address these requirements. So we require type 3. So a pair of attributes is created to track current value and previous value. So here you can see a current value and the previous value is created. So category current, category previous. So if the category change, only in this case the change is made. So you can see in these cases, in those cases, there is no change. So all are maintained like this, only here the changes are reflected. So from here, analysis can be done very easily because the data is represented like this. So this is very easily satisfied the purpose of that business. Okay. So type 3 is for that purpose. So basically there is a comparison in type 1, overwrite attribute values in dimension table. So it will restate the history. In type 2, insert new row in dimension table. So the result is it is preserved unlimited history. In type 3, we are going to create a pair of attributes to keep previous and current values. So no new rows are added, only a pair of attributes are going to be created. So ability to analyze fact recorded before and after change happened using the old value and new value. Okay. So these are the comparisons. So these are the things that we have to discuss. We need to remember about the schema. So in the previous lecture and this lecture also, we have discussed about the data warehouse schema. We have discussed why it is required, what are the types we have, star schema, snowflake schema, and fact constellation schema. We have also known what is fact table and dimension table. Those are very important in the aspect of data warehouse because the data is stored in like that form. And we have discussed many other issues like slowly changing dimensions, factless facts table, the types of fact table. So these are the very, very important things we have discussed in those 2 lessons. So up to now, I think it is clear to all of you what is basically the data warehouse schema. So study all these, and up to now this is actually end of today's lecture. So keep learning and be safe.